I'm Justin Boyd.
Tristan Jones.
And I'm back. I'm sorry, Tristan. I've been gone so long, I forget who goes first, who goes third. My bad, bro.
You got it. You good.
And we are the Watchers. Yeah, who are you, Frank? You didn't say We are the Watchers in the Basement. Welcome to the Watchers in the Basement. Welcome to Watchers Football, a podcast within a podcast, and a podcast that's all about the pigskin. We are here today to discuss the end of the NFL season. It's finally over. I don't know about y'all, but after that Week 18 slate of games and just like some teams were kind of playing, some weren't, I'm glad it's over. Now we get to the real season. We get to the NFL playoffs. Wildcard weekend's coming up. So we are here today to kind of break it all down. We'll give our picks for the playoffs, and we'll take a look at the draft coming up briefly, and look at the CFP. The college football playoff is down to its final 4 teams, so we'll get into that some too. But let's start it off. The AFC, the Broncos are the number 1 seed. They have the bye. They won the AFC West at 14-3. The Patriots also 14-3, number 2 seed. Jaguars 13-4. They're 3 seed. They won the AFC South. They've won 8 straight also. So they're one of the hottest teams in football. The Steelers at 10-7 of the 4 seed with that thrilling win over the Ravens on Sunday night. They won the AFC North. You got the Texans, the first wild card. 9 straight wins for the Texans. They're 12-5. The Bills are also 12-5. They're the 6th seed. And then finally rounding out the Chargers, 11-6. And then to get to the matchups, you've got the Patriots hosting the Chargers. You've got the Texans at the Steelers on Monday Night Football next Monday. And the other AFC game is the Bills at the Jaguars. So Tristan, start us off. To me, like this playoff seems like it's more wide open than ever before. What are your thoughts?
Agreed. You again, no Mahomes, no Chiefs, no Lamar Jackson, and Ravens as of last night's debacle. No Burrow, but I mean we're kind of used to that. What we have is Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and a bunch of inexperienced, playoff wise quarterbacks. And Frank and I talked about this off, pod, but like there's flaws everywhere, right? Every team has a flaw. Like, so, and most of them really have a fatal flaw, whether it be inexperience at certain positions, whether it be, horrible run games, or run defenses, whether it be inability to get pass rushes. Like it's certain things that like, in the ethos of good playoff football, we've always been told you need these things to win a Super Bowl. And a team's going to win a Super Bowl. Hell, we might get a back-to-back Super Bowl champion who can go an entire half without completing a forward pass. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this is where we're at playoff-wise. This is where, like, parity is, like, fully taking shape. With that said, like, I think if we squint, kind of hard. Like you can see some clear favorites on both sides of the conference of the bracket, but even your favorites have something that you can see. Like, man, I definitely can see them getting taken out in round 1. Like there's not a single team in this tournament that I can't see being one and done. So yeah, man, this is going to be a every game. I think, well, except the Panthers and the Rams for different reasons. But hell, even that, like the Panthers just upset the Rams, So as far as the AFC goes, man, I can tell you who I expect to be there, and we'll talk about it as we go through each matchup. But I definitely see a ton of intrigue, especially on the AFC side, in every single game that we get.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well said. It really is like completely wide open this year. I mean, there are some teams that maybe expect to do something, but I agree with you. Anybody could lose in the wild card round. I wouldn't be that surprised. Frank, overall thoughts on the AFC playoff picture before we get to the actual matchups?
I mean, I couldn't say any better than what Tristan just said, man. It's just a minefield of like mediocre to good teams. It's just like even the Bills, man, like they have an ultra uber Hall of Fame quarterback, and like they could lose by 14 come Saturday, and I won't be surprised. Like it's just it's very like I know I'm not a fan of parody. I think parody is very mediocre. I think parody is poverty. I like to see dynasties. I think that's what makes sports interesting, and it makes teams and more polarizing when there's a dominant force. Like you want that White Walk, that Night King, Darth Vader type figure, and like just seeing that figure just to dominate. Or on the other end, you want to see them lose. Like people live for that, and it's like we don't really have that. Like it's weird. And now that doesn't mean it won't be interesting. Like there's so much mediocrity. Like we might get some gems out of just mediocre teams. Like we watched the last 5 minutes of that Baltimore Ravens Pittsburgh game last night. Those are 2 500 teams, bro. Like they're not. I can't see neither one of them making a deep run to get to the Super Bowl. But it was exciting. The last 5 minutes of that game was exciting. It was 10-10 going to 10-7 or whatever going to the fourth, and then boom, 24 points was scored within the last 5 minutes of that game. You might see a lot of that in the playoffs. Like the number one seed in the AFC. They have a quarterback who, to me, is one of the more mediocre talents the NFL has seen in the last decade, and they're a 1 seed. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and then they have their doppelganger in the NFC with the Eagles. So it's kind of like I'm gonna watch because like you don't know who's gonna lose, who may catch fire. But no, there are no dominating teams in neither field. Like the MVP of the AFC might be a second year quarterback. That's probably who's winning MVP. There's no MVP in my opinion this season. There's no Hall of Fame MVP type season, but just because you have to give to somebody, and I think that constitutes and is symbolic to what the season has been. Like somebody has to win, right? And that's kind of where we're at now.
It's like the NBA, like the 3-pointer is the ultimate equalizer, right? Like you can kind of flatten out from talent, just if you hit enough threes, it can offset, a gap in talent, a high end talent. In the NFL, it's like flat mediocrity. Like that's the great equalizer. Like, you're going to get a bunch of guys hurt. We just bake that into the season, right? That defense, we've been talking for 2 years now. Like defense is slowly catching up with offenses, like more too high shell coverage, better pass rushers, worse offensive linemen, like just overall, like there's so many things that can flatten the odds for even lesser talented teams. We're gonna see that. Like again, we're gonna see a team that can't stop the run. Like how many decades have we been alive? Have we been told can't stop the run, can't win a Super Bowl? Like you're gonna see that happen. Frank made a great point about like the MVP. Like I think Drake May. There's so many advanced statistics that show you that Drake May is having one of the best quarterbacking seasons for a young guy, at least ever, right? But you don't see that. Like there's no. Like second year quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson won MVP second year. Mahomes obviously won MVP second year, but like those, we're gonna watch highlights of those seasons forever. Like as good as Drake May's been, he's been really effective. But he, like Frank said, he has not been MVP good. There are no MVP moments, right? There's no, Lamar exploding for like 150 yards rushing and 200 yards passing.
Yeah.
There's no Mahomes, comeback versus Denver. Like there's no big moments, right? But like there's exciting plays and stuff like that. So that just goes into like the overall, like we're getting at best, we're going to get a really good team that wins the Super Bowl at best. And maybe even not really good. We're just going to get a good team, right? That maybe got hot at the right moment. Defense showed up at the right time, whatever. Like the Texans might win a Super Bowl. Would it surprise you if the Texans won a Super Bowl?
No,
it would.
Like this,
it would because I don't know that they can score enough points. I believe in their defense, but they're gonna have to score some points. I just don't know if they can score points.
But Justin, what's the difference between the Texans and the number one seed Denver Broncos?
That's the same team.
The only difference is the home field advantage. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't shock you though. Like you may be like, damn. Again, words are being spoken that have never been spoken before. Texans Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But like it wouldn't shock you with any one of these teams besides the Panthers. It would absolutely shock you if the Panthers won. But like I can see the Texans scoring 18 and a half points a game for 4 games, right? But the defense only allowing 16. I can see that, like that's within the realm of possibility, right? I could see the Eagles winning again with Jalen Hurts averaging 115 yards, passing, right? I could see these things happening. So, yeah, man, this is the player. It's going to be exciting. Will it be good? We'll see.
That's a good point. Exciting and good are not synonymous.
They're not. They're not.
Yeah, this might be a popcorn movies kind of playoff, which people go to the movies for popcorn movies also, so let's
it's a high school fight type of playoffs. Like I've seen some exciting fights. Are they good? Not really. Like you're not submitting these things for like technical prowess. Like it got me through the day. So that's the type of playoffs we're getting.
None of these games going to Sundance Festival, dog.
Well, let's get into some of the AFC games. The first AFC playoff game is going to be on Sunday. You've got the Bills at Jaguars at noon on CBS. Tristan, I'll go to you first because my preseason prediction, I predicted the Bills would be in the Super Bowl.
You did.
Now, fast forward to right now, I don't think they're going to win on Sunday. So I don't see them going to the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to make it out of Jacksonville, given how they've kind of played, especially toward the end of the year. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
My brother, I concur with you. I don't, in keeping with the theme of today's podcast, it seems, again, I can see the Bills winning this by 30. I think it's more likely that they lose by 4. Either the Bills, either the Trevor Lawrence, one of two things are true. Either Trevor Lawrence has ascended to, definitive top 10, at quarterback in the league, or Liam Cohen is like cooking on a different level as far as play calling. And it's possible both of those things are true at the same time. But I think the much more likely thing is like Liam Cohen, he's just on a heater as far as calling plays, man. Like they feel like they're getting whatever they want, regardless of how well Trevor Lawrence plays. And he's played excellent the last month and a half. If this is a breakout year for them, I think the Jaguars overall are a better team. This goes to a point Frank and I kind of argued. I think I think it's much more likely Jacksonville wins because like I said, I think they're just a more well-rounded team who's hotter, better play call, and so on and so forth. This is also a game I expect someone of Josh Allen's talent status to win. Like you have to win this game. Like it can't be, oh man, our run defense. Wow, man, that sucks. Man, we don't have a number 1 receiver. Wow. Like we just established none of these teams are great.
Yeah.
So again, just a flat ethos that we have in certain sports, particularly basketball, football, is that when you have your player who is clearly above his counterparts, he needs to rise above, and you got to win that game. Like if you're Josh Allen, you can't be one and done in a playoffs that does not feature Patrick Mahomes. Point blank, period. Like there's only but so many bites at the apple that you get. So like, again, is it more logical for us to say, okay, when we look at these two teams head to head, strengths, weaknesses, boom. At the moment, this especially with it being in Jacksonville, this is a game that we should say Jacksonville should win. On the flip side, like we have to look at the Bills and like this run that they've been on, and like how many times they were so close. If this happened, it was completely unacceptable to be one and done. Like that can't happen. But I do see Jacksonville. I think the defense is playing better. The defense is not elite by any means, But they've gotten takeaways, and then again, just the run pass balance is just kind of perfect on the other side of the ball. If Jacksonville is putting up 27 plus, I can see them controlling the game in a way that probably gets Buffalo behind and puts too much of the game in Josh Allen's hands. And I think that's a 60-40 split on whether he can, if the Bills can still win that way.
Yeah, it's a good point. Frank, I mean, all the pressure's on Josh Allen, right? There's no Mahomes, there's no Lamar, there's no Burrow in the way. This should be his time, right? This should be his AFC. Unfortunately, they're a 6th seed, right? So it's not exactly probably how they would dream it up. What do you think's going to happen in the Jaguars Bills game?
Yeah, Tristan and I spoke about this just last week. Yes, this is one of the least talented Buffalo teams. I know they're tops in the league in pass defense, but Josh, Pat, Lamar, and to a smaller degree, Burrow, I grade at a different level. Like I don't, regardless of the team, regardless of what's around you, regardless of the coaching staff, regardless of all the mitigating factors, the one advantage is the quarterback and your talent and your ability to raise level play of not your play, but the guys around you. And I think Josh is one of those guys that can raise level play around him. I expect him to win this game. Is Jacksonville the better team? Yeah, they are. Yeah. The better passing game. Lawrence is playing probably the last 2 months of football. He's probably been the best quarterback in football, stat-wise. Liam Cohen is in his bag, play calling wise. But with all that being said, I just if 17 is healthy and out there, I'm not gonna bet against him. Only time I really bet against him, he's playing this Pat. But I expect him to win this game because of Josh Allen and his MVP prowess. He brings this level of like backyard football, this like erratic, like shit you can't game plan for. Like I don't care if you have a 6'4", 240 guy scout teaming for Jacksonville this week. You can't simulate what Josh brings to the table. You just can't. It's why he's so good and why he'll be a Hall of Famer one day. And those type of talents, especially in a team-oriented sport where a guy can just go on a heater at any point in time, I expect Josh to go on a heater. If Josh is not in the Super Bowl, it's a letdown, and the coach should be fired, and they should go find somebody else. But I expect Josh Allen to show up and win this game in Jacksonville. I do.
Just to kind of follow it real quick on that, man, like you said, we grade those quarterbacks at a different level because just to quote the obvious, like that's what they're paid for. Like that's they eat up a certain amount of the salary cap because of their ability to change the game in that way. I'll just say this. As of probably week 7, week 8, the Chiefs were still Super Bowl favorites despite not having receivers who could beat man coverage, no running game to speak of outside of the quarterback, a defense that couldn't get out the field on third down. They were still the Super Bowl favorites simply because of who they have at quarterback. Like that's just, we're not being hyperbolic. Like this is just the type of effect that they have, the impact that they have on a play-to-play basis. You got to win this. You have to win this. And I don't want to sound so doomsday like before fucking wild card weekend, but like the pressure is on him. And if Lamar would have, Boot, whatever his name is, Luke.
Luke.
Yeah. Luke. There we go. I did say we shouldn't remember his name last night. We won't see him too long. But if he would have made that kick, we would have said the same thing about Lamar. Like, okay, you were hurt. You look like you halfway healthy. Go get it done. But again, there's only but so many bites at the apple, especially if you expect the Chiefs to be back at some point soon. So go get it done, man. Yes, you don't have. Hey, the run defense is bad. It happens. I've seen, great quarterbacks win Super Bowls with that same affliction. you know, you don't have a number one receiver. Man, where have I seen that movie before? Like this happens. Like my man won with Juju Smith-Schuster as a number one. Like you have to go get it done. And you don't have time for like those occasional Josh Allen mistakes, you know, stuff like that. You just got to be sharp. And if he's sharp and he's playing up to his capabilities, I expect the Bills to win. I just don't think he will.
Yeah, I just don't see him winning. Yeah, I mean,
Right, yeah.
even if he plays really well, I think Jacksonville's just better, and I'll be surprised if Jacksonville doesn't come away with it. But it's a pretty entertaining match. I mean, a lot of these games are pretty, like, on paper, they all look pretty good. They all look like, because it's like anybody could win. There's no clear favorite in a lot of these games. Moving on, let's go to Sunday Night Football. We have the Chargers at the Patriots. We talked about Drake May a little bit. Frank, want to get your thoughts first. Who do you see winning this game? You know, the Chargers kind of banged up, it seems like, whereas the Patriots are flying high. They didn't really play anybody during the season. They only played, I think, 4 teams that were in the playoffs, and 2 of those games were against the Bills. So they haven't really been tested, but they're at home. They're 14-3. I guess, you know, the regular season doesn't matter anymore anyway. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
We have a group chat, and Tristan and myself and Jeremy, we call Justin Herbert Mr. Mid. That is his nickname. Immense talent, beautiful golden lock hair, and rocket arm. He is a beautiful version of Jeff George. I have no trust in him. When he gets it done, when he does get it done and gets a win, I'm going to be shocked. The Pats haven't really played a lot of competition, but I mean, Drake May's playing high level football. I love Travion Henderson. Looks like he is pretty much the feature back in his offense. Diggs has rejuvenated himself, having a good season. They're just playing great football right now. I mean, I know the schedule has been very questionable. They're playing the last play schedule, but if you're a good team, you're expected to win those games, and they've clobbered the competition. It'd be one thing if they're eking out wins against the Saints and the Jets. They're blowing up the competition. They're doing what a good team's supposed to do. So, the Chargers, not only do I not trust them as a playoff team, they're going from west to east, playing on the road. And last time I saw the Chargers in the playoffs, they got routed by the Texans. And this offense that they're going to play against is way more explosive than what Houston was last January. So I got New England 28-17, and I got the Chargers scoring a late touchdown to cut it to 11 to lose the game. So.
Yeah.
This is the definition of toss up for me, because everything that I want to say about the Patriots, I can say about the Chargers. Everything I want to say about the Chargers, I can say about the Patriots. I do agree with Coop that at some point you just become a good team. Like, regardless of what the schedule is, you just pick up so many winning habits and just do those things over and over and over again to the point where you expect to win. And I do think that accelerates wherever you're at on your timeline to like being an actual contender. You just win all the time. Like, you just get used to winning. Like that does something to you, you know what I'm saying? And transforms a team. So I do think the Patriots are a good team. I do also think that the Patriots are quarterback, as good as he is, as close as he is to like cementing himself as like, hey, I'm a top 5 quarterback in the league, and moving forward, and we don't even have to have that conversation anymore. Like, he's on the verge of that.
Yeah.
The gap between these 2 fingers is like what he does in these playoffs, right? Because we've seen young quarterbacks win the MVP or, you know, have MVP type seasons, but like for the most part, outside of like a very, very, very few, those things usually fizzle out in the playoffs, right? Outside of, again, we think about Mahomes, wins MVP, but like also, you know, goes toe to toe with Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. There's not a lot of, you know, examples of those things happening. So usually it's that next year. It's like, okay, well, now we see, can you, replicate that regular season and then take it further in the playoffs? So if Drake May, can play to that same MVP type level, or just being a good playoff quarterback, then from that point on, I can't bet against them. Like you've demonstrated, hey, I can get this done. Second year, new OC, new head coach, all these things, and had that MVP type year, and then I can, start to go on a playoff run. At that point, it cements. Until then, it's a pretty much rookie quarterback, having his first playoff game. These things historically don't work out too well. But I can say the same thing about the Chargers. Justin Herbert, in his limited time in the playoffs, has shown the same shakiness that we've accused him of. Very few of the flashes that we see, of greatness that we see in the regular season. So I don't trust them. I do trust Jim Harbaugh. Yeah. I trust the running game to a slight extent. I do think the Patriots should win this game, but I can't trust it. But I will take the Pats to win this game, just on the sense that I think that they're better. I have no idea who's playing for the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? Like who's in a blue tent, who's on the inactive list. So by default, I'm taking the Patriots. But man, it's inexperience versus shaky, like bad moments. Like one of those things is going to win. At this point, I'll take the inexperience, but I can see that going either way.
Yeah, I like what you said a little bit ago about the once you get used to winning, it just becomes like,
you win.
Yeah, you win, right?
Yeah, what we do.
I feel like that's what this team is kind of become, and I think they're way ahead of schedule. And I don't think anybody thought they're. I mean, they got to be the biggest surprise in the playoffs. The fact they're 14-3. I don't care who you're playing. They're playing NFL teams, but that's very impressive to be 14-3. And they have a home
game. Offensively, you can look at the fact that they played essentially above average pass defenses.
Yeah.
And had that type of year through the air. So like that, if you're rooting for the Patriots, like you can look to that as they do have experience playing good, semi-good pass defenses.
Yeah. Yeah. I like them in this game. I just think that like their inexperience or lack of experience isn't going to matter in this game, and I think the Chargers are kind of banged up, and both Frank and Tristan said it very well. Just the Charger situation, they're just kind of, I mean, they're kind of a perennial playoff team. I have to give them that, but they're not a team I get excited to watch or even think about. They're just kind of like, they're there. Congratulations, but I don't want you to be there too long.
I need to see Justin Herbert play one good big game.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah. No,
I don't have too much.
Point. Very good point. So the final AFC playoff game for the weekend, Monday Night Football, the Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Texans, like I said, have won 9 straight. Hottest team in the NFL. Take it on the Steelers. Frank, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
See, this one to me is more even than the New England Chargers one. Just for simple fact, I don't know what offense I'm getting from neither one of these teams. The offensive output is so janky and so inconsistent, and I don't know either team's identity offensively. I don't think they know what their identity is offensively. It seems like with the Texans, the last 2 years, their offense/offensive philosophy has digressed. I don't know what they do well. I don't know what they try to do well. I don't know what their goal is. When I watch a Texans game offensively, when I'm watching the game and watching the offense, I don't know what the goal is in going into that game. Either they're not executing it or it's just murky to me. And I know Clint Kubiak's not there anymore, but it's like there are times where they're super conservative and they're just trying to keep it close. And there are times where they look like they try to open up, but then like Stroud can't find open receivers, or he's missing throws, or the online breaks down. It's just they can't run the football. Like they try to run the football, but it's like They just can't. I mean, they relied on Nick Chubb for 10 of these weeks going, and they couldn't get anything. And it wasn't until late in the season until Woody Marks got a crack at it. And he was fine. I mean, he wasn't really bad. He was mid, but he got hurt too. So I don't know what his health is going into this game Monday night. And on the flip side too, with the Steelers, that was tough to watch for about 3.5 quarters. I couldn't, and not to say DK Metcalf is just a needle mover. Even when he was there, they struggled throwing the football and separating and getting creativity from the receivers against space. But they're a tough watch too. It's to a point where Freiermuth, it looks like to me he's number one. I watched a few games where the receivers just can't get open. It's like it's the KC, huh?
Gainwell looks like the number one. One of those two.
He's a running back. Yeah, he's a running back. It's Gainwell and it's Freiermuth, and those are the. When I watched that game yesterday against the Ravens, I counted the 16 times throws and completions that Aaron Rodgers threw to the flat. Whether it was to Gainwell, whether it was to Calvin Austin, whether it's a little flare route to Freiermuth, they just can't get open, and he's just depending on yak. So this could be a yak game for either team. Who can get the most yak and get into the red zone and see who can get. I mean, it could be a field goal game. Defensively, both these teams are playing at their apex right now. I'm sure the over-under will be 40 points, and I'm sure it'll go under. It could be a 17-13 game, 14-10 game. I don't think it'll go over 40 points combined, but this is a mid-off offensively for both teams going on Monday night.
Man, yeah, I have to agree, man. I do think the Texans defense is a little bit more of a separator over, the Steelers defense. I think the Texans defense has the ability to choke out Pittsburgh much more stringently than Pittsburgh can do to them. I agree completely offensively. This is going to be, I think it's going to be again, a mid-off on just 2.5 yard throws, or, getting the ball out within 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? I don't see a lot of big plays in this. I do think the Texans have more avenues to get big plays though, with their play calling. They just seem more willing to take more shots in the deep middle of the field or just deep passes in general. I do think when Aaron Rodgers has sensed some type of separation from his receivers, he's made some beautiful throws. He can still sling that bitch.
That seam route, that out and up in the fourth quarter fire move, that was a 2013 Aaron Rodgers throw.
Yeah, that arm is still golden when he needs it. That essentially is going to be the game. Who can generate enough big plays to maybe get a couple red zone appearances here and there? I think 17 is going to win this game. I just think that the Texans defense has a way. I can see the Texans defense completely taking DK Metcalf out of the game, and then what? Right? They don't blitz. You know what I'm saying? They don't really do anything gimmicky. They just line the hell up and just shut you down.
So here's my question though: do you think CJ Stroud's going to play well on the road in Pittsburgh?
Ooh,
that's separated from me. How's he going to look playing at Heinz Field?
I mean, he didn't look shaky in Arrowhead last year. They made some mistakes here and there, but they didn't look shaky. They just didn't look as good. But man, Heinz, that's a different level right there. Because that screen was shaking last night before they came.
Unlike Kansas City, we don't have a TJ Watt. We don't have a he's a separator himself.
But Will Anderson, to me, it comes to the fact that there's not an area in the Texans defense that I feel like the Aaron Rodgers can like properly dissect. I think the throws that he makes, if he makes them downfield, are going to have to be super super tight window, and I don't think his receivers are good enough for that, and it's against the worst possible opponent. So I have the Texans winning this. I think it's going to be tight. I think maybe they get one, a touchdown here and there off a short field or maybe off a turnover. And I could see CJ Stroud getting you, a couple of scoring drives and that being enough.
Yeah, I think 17 points, certainly 20 points, I think will be enough to win this game. I think the Texans, I like the Texans in the game. I think their defense is going to create enough short fields for the offense to, kick field goals or maybe get a touchdown here and there. That'll be enough.
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to say Pittsburgh 20, Texans 16.
Mike Tomlin gets his first playoff win in 10 years?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, Frank, you're right.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's been a while. You said it was the over-under would be under 40. You're right. It's 39.5 for that game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I figured as much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a high-scoring one. So that does it for the AFC wildcard games. Let's move over to the NFC. First off, let me run through the NFC seed. So you got number 1, Seattle Seahawks, 14-3. They won the NFC West. They've won 7 in a row. You got the Bears at number 2 at 11-6, NFC North winners. The Eagles at 11-6 won the NFC East number 3 seed. Number 4 seed is the Carolina Panthers at 8-9. Like backing into the playoffs, like only they could do. Like only an NFC South team could do, where you lose a pivotal game and then another team the next day wins to provide you a playoff berth and a division title. Number 5 seed is the Rams. They're 12-5. The San Francisco 49ers are 6th seed. They're 12-5. And finally, the Packers are 9-7-1, are the 7th seed. They've lost 4 straight. And yeah, let's not start with the Packers. So let's start with that Panthers Rams game. Kicks off Saturday afternoon. Frank, what are your thoughts on that matchup?
This should be the more sure bet, like, game out of the weekend. It should be, right? My only reservation is Carolina did win earlier this year, but it's the health of Devontae Adams. That's my only. That's the question that lingers, because he hasn't played. I mean, they sat him out. We don't know how bad that quad is. Hopefully, he's healthy enough to play. I would think if Carolina's smart, Puka should not be getting 9, 10, 12 catches in this game if Devontae does not play. And if they decide to roll coverage to Puka, who else is going to be able to make plays? Is it Kobe Parkinson? Is it, Tutu Atwell? Like, who is the other guy if Devontae's not out there to help take pressure off of Puka? Because it will be asinine and high level negligence if Devontae's not playing and that DC is not rolling coverage to Puka. Like, there should be 3 guys on Puka. Absolutely. Every time. If he's in motion, you better roll coverage. There should be no reason why Puka sees 1 iota of man-to-man. If Devontae does not play, I'm concerned, because Stafford does have the proclivity to look ordinary or mid if he doesn't have all his weapons. And he didn't. Last time we saw him, he did not play well in Atlanta. He did not play well. And I think not having Devontae there, he tends to force the ball to Puka. He tends to stare him down a little bit. And that scares me if you're a Rams fan. Now, if Devontae plays, then this should be a 31-14 game. They should win. It should roll. Yeah. But if he doesn't play, I don't know if it's going to be as easy peasy as it appears to be on paper.
If the Los Angeles Rams are a serious outfit, this game is over by halftime. And I'm not even really talking about the Rams offense. I'm talking about the defense. The defense is really what, let them down against the Seahawks. Defense let them down against the Falcons. Like, the defense, it seemed like they peaked a little bit too early this season, and they've been on decline for like the last month, I would say. So I do think whether Devontae Adams plays or not, the Rams can get to 24 points. They can do that. Like, they, put up however many points against Seattle without Devontae. If that defense shows up and, predictably makes, Bryce Young's life a living hell, this game should be over by halftime. It should, at least by the third quarter. It should be in tow. So if they're serious, then they're going to look like it, right? But right now is a time for them to start looking like it. They did 5 weeks ago, and it's been a while since they looked like that team. This weekend would be a great time for them to, like, get back into that gear of showing, like, okay, there's a different level between us and this particular team, and Carolina shouldn't come close. Like, from what we've seen from that offense, and how inept it just looks and stuck in the mud it looks too often, unless Bryce Young and T Mac are like have some type of magical connection in the fourth quarter. But outside of that, like, it looks like a JV offense. You should be able to disrupt that offense enough to have this game over with by the third quarter. If not, I can't take them seriously as like an actual Super Bowl favorite, let alone a contender.
Yeah, I think this game has the worst time slot for a reason. It's that Saturday 3:30 game. As people live in Houston, we know the Texans they've played that game many times.
That's the only thing they've done.
Yeah, all of them they played this year. Yeah, it's unique there at Monday Night Football. But yeah, I see the Rams kind of cruising through this one. I don't think we're going to have much of a matchup there. In the nightcap on Saturday, you have the Packers at the Bears. This will be the third time they played, the longtime division rivals. This will be on Amazon Prime. Frank, who you got?
Man, you know what? I got the Chicago, bro. I think Chicago's gonna pull it off, man. I feel I'm drinking a little bit of Caleb Kool-Aid, dog. I'm drinking a little bit of Caleb Kool-Aid, man. If I mean, they should have won the last matchup. They won in dramatic fashion, but Roman Dunze will be back. The running game is playing at a high clip. I think Ben Johnson is doing a great job of incorporating balance to that offense. The way we talk about the Rams is the same way I feel about the Packers, man. If the Packers are serious, right? If Jordan Love is tapping into that Jordan Love talent that we know that he has, they should win if we take them serious. But I just don't think. I don't think that game or the variance of talent between those teams is as wide as we think it is. I think Chicago's close to gap. I think Chicago's right there with them. I think Ben Johnson is every bit of the play caller as Matt LaFleur. Their defense, the defense gives up a lot of plays. I mean, but I watched the Packers against the Ravens against the backup quarterback, and they didn't look well. They didn't look good. They gave up a lot of big plays in that game too. This could be a high scoring game, and the higher score. If it's a high scoring game, I just feel like it favors Chicago. I feel like, and Roman Dunze will be back. I don't know how serious it is with Luther Burden. I don't know if he's out for the year, but they're just playing well. The tight ends, Loveland and Cole Kmet, they got this Junior Gronk, Aaron Hernandez thing going on right now. The tight ends too. They're just a fun offense to watch right now, and I don't think the Packers are gonna be able to stop them.
Man, I don't fucking know who's gonna win this game, man. I think everything that Frank just said is 100% correct about them. I think Caleb is. We talked about it. Like he's going to miss some layups, right? But he's going to make a bunch of 40-foot threes, at the same time. He's gonna turn around fadeaway at the end of the shot clock, a key possession. Like he's gonna make those plays. I I don't. Everything about that is true. I don't think that everything that the Bears do well, they do consistently enough to win a playoff game, right? So I think this game is going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be the shootout that Frank said it could be, right? Especially if Jordan Love is right and that offense is humming. I could see them going back and forth, similar, not to the same degree as the Bears in San Francisco, but I could see like a good 34-28 type game. Or as a lot of the Bears games have gone, I could see Green Bay going up big and like Chicago just waiting too long to like make that push, to like kind of, up the tempo on their offense, to get the ball downfield, get quick points. Like I don't see any in between on that, right? Like it's either all or almost nothing with them. So I'm taking Green Bay, though I definitely agree that they haven't come close to looking like the consistent Super Bowl, not even just contender, but like favorite that they were looking like at certain points in the season, when things were clicking. I gotta times like this, even though they'll be at home, I gotta take experience, right? Again, Jordan Love, he's more, both Jordan Love and Caleb Williams are up and down quarterbacks in different ways. Caleb Williams is up and down within the same game. Jordan Love is up and down within a series of games. Like he'll give you great game and then he'll give you good game with like bonehead decision at the end, or or he'll give you mediocre game. He's gonna, the way he starts is usually the way he finishes. So I can see him being good enough and them moving the ball and getting enough points that puts Chicago kind of behind the eight ball and forces them to have to come back. Maybe they get almost close, but I do think Green Bay is going to take this one.
Yeah, like I said, this will be the third matchup this season. These two divisional rivals, they played both games were very, very competitive. Both games were very entertaining. I'm taking the Bears, and not for any kind of inside knowledge or technical reasons. I just think the Bears need this game desperately, because even though the Packers are their rival, it's one of the longest rivalries in all the sports. It's been pretty one-sided for, my entire lifetime. The Packers have dominated the Bears, and outside of probably like 1985, I assume the '85 Bears handled the Packers in '85 pretty easily. But outside of that, it's been the Cheeseheads. So I'm taking the Bears in this one. And I feel like it's one of those things where it's like they kind of have to win this one, right? Like the Bears, they finally have a quarterback who can throw the ball. Like this has got to be their moment. And I do think this will be one of the more entertaining games of the weekend. This is one of the ones I'm actually really looking forward to watching, just because it's kind of all there. There's so many storylines, so much into this matchup. And, the Packers, they've lost 4 in a row. They've had a lot of injuries. I don't know. It's just, I don't see them going any further than this game, but you never know. That's why they play the games, right? So we'll see what happens on Saturday night on Amazon Prime, which also Amazon Prime has a playoff game, which I guess they did last year. I just don't remember which one it was, but
Chiefs.
They're the Chiefs, really? Okay.
Chiefs Texans, I think.
That was a Prime.
Or was that the? I know that was the end of the regular season game.
The Chiefs were on the Peacock playoff game a few years ago. Remember the Peacock Dolphins game? Yeah, the super cold game. Yeah. So I guess Peacock didn't have one this year. That's interesting. Obviously they have the NBC has the whole thing, but moving on, the final playoff game of the weekend, as far as from the NFC, 49ers at Eagles. Eagles are defending champions. I predicted they would go back to the Super Bowl and win. That was my preseason pick. Eagles over Bills. Just like my AFC pick, I don't think my NFC pick is going to get out of this weekend. But Frank, what are your thoughts on that matchup? 49ers at Eagles.
Man, I don't fucking know. I don't know what Eagles team is going to show up. I do not know. They're one of the few teams they can play like shit for 55 minutes, and then Jalen Hurts gets a 40-yard scamper, and they get in the red zone and 1 yard line and just push their way to a 21-20 game. I don't know. Like my two main concerns for each team is one, the Niners defense, they've been giving up ass for the better part of 3 months now. They just can't stop anybody. I know they lost, Warner, and they lost, Bosa, and they can't get a push. They can't get a pressure. They can't seem to keep the big play out of the secondary. They just, so if you're the Eagles and you're a team that struggles moving the ball downfield, this is the defense you want to go against. This is your get right game, I guess, defensively to get AJ Brown and Devontae Smith in space. But again, like, I don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to show up. And it's like the Eagles are so good that Jalen can play below mid and they can win the game. I guess gun in my head, I guess I would say Philly, just because I think Philly has a better defense. They can run the ball. They have Saquon. So they have other pieces that they can rely on, not named Jalen Hurts, to get the job done. They get turnovers. Jalen Carter and Jordan in the middle of that D line can get pressure. And we know Purdy is always, I don't know if it's gonna be cold in Philadelphia this weekend, but Purdy's one of those guys, man. He has a proclivity of throwing interceptions.
Yeah. And
if he throws 1 or 2 or 3, I wouldn't be surprised. And if those turn into long 6-7 minute drives, the Niners could be doomed. This is the kind of game where how Purdy played against Chicago, that's the way I feel he'll need to play to have a chance to win this game in Philly. And I don't know if Purdy has that game in him against that defense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Against Chicago, against Carolina, sure. This is a front seven that can cause a lot of problems for you. And it's weird. I don't trust neither quarterback in this game, but I trust the defense, the front seven for the Eagles, and for the Niners, I trust McCaffrey. This should be a 30 touch game for McCaffrey. But if I had to pick, I would say Eagles pull it out.
I'm picking Philly is going to win this game because apparently they're just God's favorite. Like they should have lost so many games just from just complete ineptitude on offense and on defense. The loss to Chicago was about the defense as much as it was the offense.
Yeah.
Like they got ran through, which is why there's a part of me that wants to pick San Francisco because of the way I've seen the Eagles defense give up ass to certain teams this year. But I do think the defense overall has been better since the Detroit game, as where you kind of start to see a shift. But I don't trust a single unit in this game. Right? Like I don't trust the Eagles defense. I definitely don't trust their offense. I trust Kyle Shanahan and his play calling. I just don't know if his receivers are going to be up for the task in Philadelphia against those corners. Who again, I've seen those corners get eaten up. Right? I just don't know if Philly. I don't know if the 49ers receivers are good enough to do that eating up that I've seen other offenses do against them. This is a game where you need your quarterback to rise up a level, and I guess this is one of those kind of data points on Purdy. Like we've seen it in moments, right? We saw it in the second half against Detroit in the championship game. We've seen it at different points in the Super Bowl. Like we've seen him make plays. This is one where, hey, we need you from the first quarter to the end to like consistently make plays to take us over the top, because essentially these are even teams, right? Which unit is going to step up over the other one it remains to be seen, but I got Philly. Just too much high end talent.
Yeah.
That's also healthy right now. So like I'm a roll with Philly on this.
Yeah, I think both of you, your logic is sound. I just think like San Francisco coming off that game in Seattle, they just laid an egg. That was a huge chance for them, because had they won the game against Seattle this past weekend, they would have had the home field. They would have been the number 1 seed despite all their injuries. In theory, they could have played every game at home, including the Super Bowl, which now that's not going to happen. I don't know if they were, ever really good enough to be a Super Bowl team, but I think they got one in them. I think this will be the one they get again in Philadelphia. Also, like they have, they kind of owe Philly one, a few years ago whenever Purdy got hurt early in that game. And had they had any kind of quarterback play, they probably would have beaten the Eagles that day. And, the Eagles are just, they kind of were trending toward disappointing the whole season. And maybe they can pull it out and repeat as Super Bowl champions, but I just don't see it this year. So I'm just kind of going with vibes on this one. I'm going to take the Niners to win this game and to move on. So now we've laid out wild card weekend for you. Now we need to provide our Super Bowl picks before we move on. Frank, who do you got in the Super Bowl?
Well, our debut show this year, I had Packers and Chiefs, but that's not going to happen. So, and I picked Chicago, so I'm pretty much eradicating the Packers. I'm gonna say, man, Buffalo, and the Rams.
Okay,
with the Rams winning it all.
Rams
and Stafford going into the sunset.
I don't fucking know, man. I have out of NFC, I'm taking the Rams. I agree with Frank on that. Again, I don't think Buffalo's getting out of this weekend, so I think it's going to be one of these AFC South boys. I'm going to go Rams, Jags.
Okay,
Rams, Jags.
With the Rams winning it.
Rams winning it. Okay. Matt Stafford gets his first ballot Hall of Fame ticket stamp.
We're going to have a whole new respect for Trevor Lawrence. He makes the Super Bowl. We're going to have a whole new level of respect for that motherfucker.
It's more so the field, than Trevor Lawrence. I don't see him staying on the same heater that he's been on, but I just think that offense is humming right now, man.
I'm taking the Rams also. I think the Rams are going to be there. I think they're going to win it. Their opponent's going to be the Patriots. I don't feel great about it. If you'd have told me 3 months ago that the Patriots would potentially be a Super Bowl pick, I'd have said no way. But you know what? You look at the rest of the AFC, why not? Why not the Patriots? Like, we're going to get the Patriots and Rams for the third incarnation, I guess, that I can remember. We had the greatest show on turf, Rams against the baby Brady teams, and then you had Brady and the Patriots playing golf and the Rams, and now we'd have this matchup. So Rams Patriots with the Rams winning.
Where are we on the Broncos? Where are we on the Broncos?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Justin.
It's really just who are they going to play next weekend? Like I'm really it's just the matchup. Like, if there's an upset or I don't know.
Logic says that we should really take them seriously.
Yeah.
But then logic also says we shouldn't at the same time because of the whole I just refuse to believe in the Bo Nix thing.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe it. He's gonna have to go on an 0-1 Tom Brady run, for me to get there, but I refuse to believe it. But the defense is real. Yeah. Despite a little bit of slippage towards the end of this regular season, I just refuse to believe it. Maybe it's the hatred in me, but I refuse to believe. I refuse to believe that an offense that mediocre for the majority of so many games is going to against theoretically really good defenses that have this time to game plan and prepare. I refuse to believe it, but I could also see it if it happened. This is a weird playoffs. I could see every team besides 1, 2, really. Sorry, Pittsburgh, winning the Super Bowl. I could any one of them, Chicago even. I could see them winning, at least making it to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So I don't know, but I got Rams, Jaguars as of today, and it's subject to change depending on how Drake May looks this weekend. I'm going Rams, Jags.
All the games I've watched, I watched every Bronco game this year, and the only game I remember the Broncos being down a lot was the Giants game when Knicks went nuts in the fourth quarter. I just don't know if Denver goes down by double digits, do they have the offensive, not talent, but I guess stones to be like, you know what, man, we're down 10. This ain't nothing. Let's go and put 3 or 4 drives together to go up 4. I don't know if they have that. And like when you look at their play calling, Sean really plays it close to the vest. I'm not saying that Knicks can't go on a heater. I just haven't seen it outside of one game this year against the Giants, against a bad Giants team back in October. When they went down to when they played the Jags a couple weeks ago, and the Jags got on them that mid third quarter, they didn't have an answer. They when they were playing from 17 down, they didn't like get diet calories on like yards. Like when teams kind of go on prevent mode, a lot of times teams will bend but don't break. Even when the Jacksonville went and bend don't break, Nick struggled making throws downfield against a prevent defense. And I don't know if they get in that situation again, if Knicks is going to be able to put together and manufacture quick, efficient drives to get back into a game if there's a deficit. Now they have a defense where, you know, if they're playing well, they can dominate for 4 quarters and make Knicks just play, you know, preventative football, turnover defensive football to where they don't have to put the ball, you know, make risk averse plays. But if there is a game, look, say what you want to say about Buffalo. If Buffalo plays Denver and Allen goes nuts, can Denver match that? I don't know if they can. And that's my only question with Buffalo. I mean, with Denver is if they go down 10 points or 14 points in the second half, or even the first half, can you counteract that and chip away at that lead? I don't know. That's one question that remains to be answered for me.
Yeah, I just think with the Broncos, they played a lot of one-score games and they came out on top at a lot of them. And I think that luck's going to kind of run out in the playoffs. I just don't see it. Playing out. So we'll see. I mean, we could ask the same question about Seattle. Seattle's also the number 1 seed. None of us picked the Seahawks. We haven't even really talked about them much. What is it about Seattle that we don't like? Is it?
It's again, I feel the same way. I'm completely ready to change my entire. Well, no, I can't do it this week, but in 2 weeks, there's a high potential that I could change my entire Super Bowl pick because if Drake May looks like he belongs in his first playoff game, and Sam Darnold looks like he belongs in that playoff game, then there's no reason for me not to pick Seahawks Patriots, right? But like that's how much of a liability both Sam Darnold's big game performances and then Drake May's complete inexperiences are to like the overall perception of how we see their chances of actually winning the Super Bowl. It's one thing to get here. Cool, great regular season. But like it's a completely different game and it's gonna require a different level of like decision making and game management and all these different things. Like we gotta see it. I need Sam Darnold to look good. Same thing we said about Justin Herbert. One big game. Can I see you look good, non-shaky, complete control? I thought what he did in the second half against the Rams was very valuable moving forward. But like, okay, keep building on that, right? Drake May, like I need to see you look like an MVP quarterback outside of the regular season. Like that tells me that's just who you are, right? If that's the case, then I'm picking those 2 teams to make the Super Bowl. Until then, like those are just big liabilities.
But isn't that the field? The field just consists of guys who've never done it before, and young guys and guys who've been around who haven't done it before. So it's like that's the field. Outside of Stafford, that is the field of guys that we're looking at. Oh, and Jalen Hurts in a way has done it before, but like Jalen Hurts, we have questions with him on a game-to-game basis. I mean, outside of Stafford, he's really the only guy I purely trust. Like, I think he's going to play a great game no matter what's going on. They may lose, but I don't think Stafford's going to come up short. Lawrence is playing great, but again, Lawrence has 4 or 5 years of evidence that he can be inconsistent at a moment's notice. Whether Liam Cohen's there or not, he has a pass for a reason. Drake hasn't done it before. Caleb hasn't done it before. Love, he's a wild card too. Like you said, there are weeks where he looks great, weeks where he looks, very ordinary. This is the quarterback in field in 2026 right now. We don't know none of these guys. They all are at point one for me. They never done it before, or they're just new young guys who have done it before.
And Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
who hasn't had a good playoff game in 5 years.
And this is an older Aaron Rodgers, the worst version of Aaron Rodgers at every version we've seen. So
literally,
yeah.
But that's again, everything you're saying is completely correct. That's why as we're making these picks in the margins, right? So I'm Justin Herbert versus just whoever. Both of these people are inexperienced. Justin Herbert, Drake May, but who has even the slightest of edge is inexperience. That might be Justin Herbert. That might be everything else that's around Drake May. That might be Stephon Diggs just kind of carrying the day or something like that. Is he playing? We gotta check on that situation.
That's I don't know. That's a good question.
So that's the only way I can make these picks. I can't ignore everything you said. All these quarterbacks haven't done it, and then there's Aaron Rodgers, right, and Jalen Hurts. But I have to weigh in 35 years of football watching, and how do young quarterbacks tick? Some of those things just transfer regardless. Regardless of it being parity or if there's a dynasty, young quarterbacks will struggle, whether they're at home, whether they're on the road in that first playoff game. Very few kind of rise above that. So, bro, it's just tough, man. We don't know. Again, either Josh Allen is going to run roughshod through the AFC and get to the Super Bowl, or it could be anybody. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be Bills, Eagles, just as easily as it could be Jags, Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? So who knows, bro?
I just think it's so crazy when you think about last postseason compared to this one. And now, granted, the playoffs have not started yet. We might have some of the greatest moments ever. We might have the great games. We might have new rivalries develop in this playoffs, right? But just looking right now on the outset of it, think about last year. Think about when Buffalo played the Ravens in that second round, and the intensity of that game, knowing they're playing for the chance to play the Chiefs, right? Buffalo won that game by a narrow margin. That was a huge win for them. They go to play the Chiefs again. I mean, this crazy rivalry, close game, intense game. Chiefs get the better of them. They go to the third straight Super Bowl. Then they face the Eagles. The Chiefs are going for history. All the stuff we had last year, this year is the opposite. This year's like a snow globe season where you just take the whole NFL, shake up the snow globe, and here you go. And it's just again, it could be very entertaining. It could be a lot of fun. Some of these matchups on paper sound great, but it's just it's a different world compared to what it was 12 months ago.
I'm really excited to see the inept coaching in these games as well. I'm not trying to be funny. We're gonna see inept coaching. We're gonna see guys go for on fourth down on the 21-yard line when points are a premium. We're gonna see it. That's what's so exciting. I can't wait to see which the Monday morning quarterback, who we're gonna blame for the playoff exit just because of just pure stupidity and playing Madden. It's gonna happen. I'm watching the Rams. I'm watching the Ravens Pittsburgh game last night. It's 2 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter, and instead of kicking the field goal, they run a pitch and this is a veteran coach that did this. Imagine it's gonna happen. We're gonna see inept coaching decisions coming Saturday and Sunday and Monday. I can't wait to see who it's gonna be. That's what I find exciting for me.
We might see some elite inept coaching. And I can't wait to see the cowardly coaching. Who's going to punt, down 10 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter? at the 40-yard line. Like, who's going to do that? Like, who's just going to give up, silent give up? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to see, man. Like, who's just going to, like, completely shit their pants in 40-degree weather on NBC? Like, that's like, take me back to my youth, man. Take me back to fucking what's my man's name? The black coach for the Ravens, not the Ravens, the Raiders. Art Shell. Art Shell would be staring there at the camera and like be the scaredest. I'm like, bro, like do something, man. You're making us look bad, bro.
Yeah,
Take me back, man. I can't wait for that.
So speaking of coaching, perfect transition. Today's Black Monday, and 4 coaches lost their job today, or I guess last night, when you count Raheem Morris. So that means 6 jobs are opening right now. The Titans and Giants jobs open during the season. As I mentioned, Raheem Morris is out with the Falcons after 2 seasons. The Browns fired Kevin Stefanski after 6 years. The Raiders fired Pete Carroll after 1 year. And the Cardinals fired Jonathan Gannon after 3 seasons. So, Franco, to you first. Which one of these is the most surprising, or none of them surprising to you?
A lot of these are bad teams, so I'm not really surprised by any of these firings. Like they're just bad franchises, bad decision making, bad acquisitions, bad hires in the first place. Like the Pete Carroll thing is not surprising. Like that was a bad hire. Like I don't know why you bring a 70-something-year-old guy in here to try to like. What was your goal? Like,
right.
I always ask when you hire somebody, when you come with a philosophy, what is your goal for a guy that age in this juncture and stage of his life? What were you hoping to accomplish? What ideologies or mindset was you hoping to accomplish with a 74-year-old man? I don't know. Like they brought him in, they fired the OC middle of the season, a guy, Chip Kelly. I don't like all these are bad hires in my opinion. Like Kevin Stefanski, I mean, that doesn't surprise me either because the Browns are just bad. Like everything they did was just ridiculous. Like drafting a pea shooter arm quarterback in the 3rd round that should be playing the UFL right now, and Gabriel drafting Shador and then like giving him the wrong fucking play wristband. Like these are things that bad teams do. Like so, it's kind of hard for me to say I'm surprised by any of these moves. Because they're just bad teams. Bad teams do stupid shit. So I don't think none of these firings was surprising to me.
Yeah.
And like none of those coaches that got fired really did enough to keep their jobs at the same time. Like, it's true you can make a case to fire pretty much every coach in the league outside of 2, maybe 3. Everybody else, like I can make a general case, like this coach should be fired, right? Those coaches didn't do enough. Raheem Morris, that was a pretty talented team. Now, the quarterback situation is tricky.
Yep.
Obviously. But even with both of those quarterbacks playing, there was enough offensive talent to be at least more consistently at least be consistently mediocre on offense. Like they would be here and then drop down all the way, to the bottom. Like they should have been better. Like every single one of those coaches could have, made those teams a little bit better.
Raheem Morris might be the most justifiable firing because the Falcons had a top 5 secondary that a 1,400-yard rusher, that 1,000-yard receiver, and they had one of the best O-lines in football, and they didn't make playoffs. That was a justifiable firing. Like you're there 2 years and your team did not get better. There's all this production, all this output you see on paper, but it resulted to nothing. So it was like that was to be a justifiable firing for Raheem.
And like their record in like close score games, like all the stuff that speaks to coaching, Raheem Morris just didn't do enough of, right? Stefanski, yes, the Browns are the Browns. Like the Browns do not set you up for success because they're the Browns. Like, what do they know about success? But I don't think the handling of the quarterback situation did him any favors. Not a lot of great options at the quarterback position, but like you could still handle that situation better. And just failing to like get the most out of pretty much every quarterback that came in there. Baker played well for a minute, and then he didn't, and he was gone. Brought in Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson washed in a lot of ways, problematic in many others.
Yeah.
But like you couldn't even get that, popping off. And then with everything that came after with Shadur and Dylan Gabriel, like he just didn't do enough. Like, could I make a case for Stefanski to keep his job? Sure. Could I make a better case to fire him? Yep. And like Frank said, it's just what bad franchises do, man. Like they make bad hires, and it pollutes every other job that comes close to it.
Yeah, I mean the Browns, the Cardinals, the Raiders. These are the worst franchises year in, year out. I will say with Raheem Morris, I can provide two defenses for him. One, he only got 2 seasons, and 2, he went 8-9 both seasons. And as we know, 8-9 is good enough to win a division, the division he's in. So, and also like
here's my counter to that though.
Yeah.
He's playing the worst division of football. You didn't win.
Yeah,
you're right. I mean, I can't defend that.
Extra counter.
Yeah.
Raheem Morris has made some of the dumbest in the game decisions that we've seen. Like just complete idiocy, like on like Monday Night Football. Like you can't, if you're going to make horrible coaching decisions, do that shit at 12 o'clock on Sunday.
Right.
Do not do that at 7:20 on Sunday or 7:30 on Monday. Just don't do those things.
Be red zone fodder. Don't be in the main event. Don't be prime time. Yeah.
No.
You can't go 8-9 in that mediocre division. They should have won at least 9-10 games.
Yeah.
Like that's not rebuttal to that.
And the Falcons also did fire the GM, which I think that's more justifiable given what they did last year when they gave Kirk Cousins this huge contract, then traded up to draft Michael Penix. And it's like, why would you do that? Why would do one or the other, but doing both? And as we saw, that failed miserably. And now going to next year, who's going to be their quarterback? I guess Penix, he's injured. Maybe is Cousins going to be, will he be there still? Will they cut him? It's a mess. It's definitely a mess. So, yeah. Moving on, let's talk about the NFL draft. Let's talk about the top 10 picks. And mainly I just want to mention, okay, so the Raiders got the number 1 pick. Jets at number 2, Cardinals number 3, Titans 4, Giants 5, Browns 6, Commanders 7, Saints 8. The Kansas City Chiefs are drafting 9th overall. This is their first round or first pick of the top 10 since they drafted Patrick Mahomes at number 10 in 2017. Let's use this opportunity to talk about the Chiefs and what happened. They finished the year, they lost 6 straight. Mahomes was lost to injury. We talk about Kelsey. Is he going to come back? Let's talk state of the Chiefs. Frank, I'll let you start it off. What do you think about their future? Is the run over? Can they get back in it quickly? What do you think?
I think this is going to be a 2-year, a 24-month project to get back right. I don't think a rebuild, but I think a reset for sure. They gotta clear some cap space. They gotta move some stuff around and not get younger, but spend the money more judiciously in places of need. They got to get playmakers on offense. They got to. It's been the last 3 years, really since Tyreek left. It's been on the shoulders of Pat, and it's not fair to him. We talked about one of our podcasts, I think earlier this year. It's just the frustration of the running game and not getting explosive plays out of there. Well, ladies and gents, there's a young man by the name of Jeremiah Love who has come out of Notre Dame. He is a fine tool back. He has all the skill sets that you want from a running back. He can run. He's explosive. He can catch. He can split out wide, get in the slot. He is a Marshall Faulk type of back. And if you want to make Pat's life easier in this part of his career, you got to give him a playmaking guy that can really create mismatches for the defense. Because it's almost asinine and unforgivable of how much they put on Pat's back and how much they don't really recognize the weaknesses of the offensive side of the ball. Whether it's the O-line being up and down, whether it's the receivers not getting separation, whether it's the running backs, getting 8 and 9 yards every 3 or 4 games. Like I think we haven't had a 40-yard run in 3 years. The last one was Isaiah Pacheco against the Jets on Sunday Night Football against Zach Wilson. That's the last 40-yard run we had. It's 3 years ago, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, we got to give this man some help. And I think with the 9th pick, Jeremiah Love will be available at that pick. Or you might have to trade up and go get him. And if you trade up, go get him. Like if that's a key missing piece for your offense, go get him. Use a 3rd rounder for next year or whatever to trade up the package to get that guy, because he's a guy that can make the difference in any offense.
That would be an outstanding pick if they get Jeremiah Love. I didn't think about that, but that would be like kind of what they need.
I've been banging on the Jeremiah Love train since October. I want that guy. I didn't think it was possible in October, but now it's definitely possible now. Now we have a 9th pick.
Yeah.
So I'll tackle the other side of the ball since he took offense. They need playmakers on defense, right? They need playmakers. You start up front, like they need guys, who can get to the quarterback. They need guys who can win one-on-one, to like relieve pressure on the back end. They need guys who can, make tackles in space, more tackles for loss. Like they just need more playmaking on the D line. Maybe guys who can, rush, drop back, and cover a zone. Like they just need more versatility and just more high end talent. Linebacker position. Those guys are decent, like run, Bolton, Tranquil, Chanel. Those are all, solid to good, like run stopping linebackers, but like they struggle in coverage, right? So like I'm all for keeping Chanel. I'm a big Leo Chanel fan, but I would love a playmaker opposite of him, to take Tranquil's place maybe, who can cover, who can like fucking catch, like there's so many, picks that they leave on the field because they got bad hands or they don't have like that playmaking, ball hawking spirit.
Yeah.
Like those dudes will drop picks or they'll overrun a pick or like they just don't see the ball. Like I see ball, go get ball. It's like see man, go hit man. And sometimes we need a turnover, especially when you're not getting enough pressure up front to where you need to like send other guys. Like, man, sometimes you need a takeaway for like, better field position. The defense regressed a lot this past year. Really the last couple years, but like definitely this last year, we talked about the 3rd down issues. We talked about them not being able to like get sacks, get, win one-on-one, get pressure with 4 guys. I think the secondary was probably the best part of the defense this year. And I don't think they could be as effective because of everything that was happening in front of them. So like they need playmakers, man. I don't understand why Jaden Hicks didn't play more this year. Like Jaden Hicks is a potential playmaker. Like he's a guy who has high end potential. Like
Noah Williams too.
Noah Williams. They traded up to get Noah Williams. Like invest in that. Like when he played at a very high level. He's somebody who could have, taken the defense up a notch. Instead, you had Shamari Connor in certain situations where we know he's burnt toast, especially on 3rd down. Like they just need more playmakers. I love having Brian Cook. I like the Cook and Hicks angle, like duel. So I would keep it there, but like everywhere else, like you can get bigger at the corner position, what I'm saying, to like match up with certain guys. Like I just want more versatility and playmaking on the defensive side to like complement, the expected overhaul of the offense, like to be more run heavy, maybe not run heavy, but just a better balance between Pat being Superman and having a run game that can take pressure off him and more playmakers there. But like, yeah, they just need more high end talent, man. Bigger guys who run faster, who are bigger, taller, stronger. Like small ball can only go, but it got you 3 straight Super Bowls. Like small ball is over. We got to start hitting some home runs again, bro. On both sides of the ball.
Yeah, that's well said. Speaking of hitting home runs, Their biggest home run hitter is, of course, Patrick Mahomes. He's already had surgery. He's already rehabbing. I guess Frank, pose the question to you first. Do you think he'll be there week one? Do you think he should be there week one? Or do you think he should play it all next season?
No and no. He should not play it all next year. I want him to have a redshirt year. And he got hurt in December. I mean, they're saying they can push him to be ready by September. I don't know. Sit this year out, bro. Start Shea Buechele. Start Okwala or whatever that motherfucking name is. Go get you Jeremiah Smith in 2027. Don't waste your time playing because this is gonna be a cap year. Like, we're gonna be losing a lot of guys due to the cap. Like, I don't think to me it will be almost highway robbery to be willing to pay Chris Jones $38 million or 40. I think it's a $40 million, unless he takes a $15 million pay cut because he hasn't been playing top of the line football as of late. They need to really clear this cap, and the way this team is right now, I don't think you should risk playing Pat on one leg. He's not gonna be ready. Like, it takes a year and a half, 2 years to truly come back for that, and that's why I'm like, I'm fine with a 2-year reset. Play young guys next year, invest in the draft, get your guys in there, and really build the next wave of chief talent. Post, going in 2027 and beyond.
Hey man, that hurt my heart, bro. That hurt. Like, that hurt. That hurt.
You want him back this year?
I do. I think he's going to play next year. Maybe not week one, but I call it faith. I don't know. I really just looking at Mahomes' history. Like, he heals faster on certain injuries. Obviously, ACL is a serious one. That we know what the I think he will play by week 4 of next year, and I do think he'll look mostly, maybe not 100. I don't think he'll be 100% until maybe 2 years from now. Maybe 18 months from now, but I definitely think he'll get to about 80% next year.
Even week 4 is pushing it. Like 10 months.
I agree.
10 months would be October. That's like standard, right? For like for ACL. If it's October and they're 2-6, why would you bring them back? Is my question.
I think you should bring, if they're 2-6 and he feels like he's ready to like play and he trusts his body, then I definitely think you should play him, because you're building for something else. Like, you're building, we may not make the playoffs again because we're so far behind the 8-ball. We're building up for like that Super Bowl run next year. Like, this is Patrick Mahomes, bro. Like, at a certain point, like, we're not just talking about regular ass great quarterback. This is a dude who sees himself in the lineage of like the greatest athletes that we've seen. Like, that, you can't shut that mentality. We can't expect that mentality, on the Super Bowl field and not expect that as he's going to work himself back to like try to play week 1. Maybe that's not realistic. Maybe that's not the smartest thing. Maybe it'd be better, whatever. Like, he's going to push himself to that. And like, with athletes like that, I tend to trust that they're going to find a way to get to that point. He's gonna want to play, bro. Like, football players play football. Like, this is what they do. If he feels like comfortable, he's gonna play.
But it's not up to him though. That's the thing. Like, the mentality of everything is fine, but if medically you're not ready, you're not ready. He tore his LCL too.
That also complicates things.
Yeah, but it's not just an ACL tear. It's multiple ligaments he tore. So it's like, and he tore in December. Like, he tore in week 16. This is not like an injury he did in September or October. This is the last 4 weeks of the season. To me, it complicates a lot of things going into next year. Like, and then like we're not even like, there could be setbacks. Like, this is a very complicated injury. Setbacks is a very, what AP did 13 years ago is unheard of. That's never happened before. That guy's a different animal. To Terry and January be ready by the training camp That's 1 in a million. It's a 30-year-old quarterback who's never had this type of injury before. Now he has to come back from multiple tears. I think even September's pushing it. It's just you're playing a dangerous game, trying to expedite, a recovery. Like I say, wait this thing out, man. I want that LCL, ACL strong and fortified before he even steps on the field.
We shall see what happens. I do think that, Frank, I think strategically what you're saying makes all the sense in the world. But I think earlier we were talking about how teams get used to winning and they win. And I think that the Chiefs, they can't stomach another season like this. And I think that, like, he's going to try to come back. I think he will play. And I don't think they can afford to flush a year, honestly. Like, I think it's like when you're in that, like, upper echelon, like when you're going, like he's going to be trying to win more Super Bowls than Brady, like he's got to play. And I think he wants to play. So we'll see how it all pans out. But it'll be interesting, honestly, because if he doesn't play, I mean, the NFL wants him to play also. Let's be real. Like, they'd like for him to play this weekend if he could, because we need a little bit more star power to get people watching the TVs and devices this weekend. But another guy who might not play. Let's talk about briefly here. Travis Kelce. You think he will play? Do you think he should play next season? Frank, I'll let you start that.
I hope not. I need him gone. Go be a house husband. Go travel with your lovely fiance. Just go. And when I say that, let me be frank here with context. I will always love Travis Kelce for what he's done for the Chiefs. He is a remarkable talent. He is top 3, one of the greatest tight ends to ever lace on cleats. And I would say this to the cows come home. What he's done for this franchise would never be forgotten. With that being said, that motherfucker is washed. And it's getting to a point now where the offense was so frustrating to me because we were still depending on a 36-year-old tight end as the focal point of our passing game. And whether that was because they just want to move off of him or because they didn't trust anybody else or separation, the fact still remains he was a focal point of a passing game that was anemic. The focal point. And I don't want to see him in Chiefs gear on the field. He can wear Chiefs gear in the skybox with his wife and Jason Kelce and his sister-in-law and Brittany Lynn Mahomes. I will watch New Heights I'll make a promise to you guys. I will watch the New Heights podcast every fucking Tuesday if he's retired next year. I promise you I will. Because
will you subscribe, like and subscribe?
Also,
like and subscribe our podcast too, please. Yeah.
He is a shell of himself. He is not the guy that he was before. He's not the guy 2 years ago. I mean, the drop passes, just the inability to get yak yarded at this point. These 2-yard ass routes he runs for 1 yard gain. I don't want to see that anymore. I put all that effort and go get another tight end, or hopefully Jared Riley is ready. But they need to stockpile talent and focus on getting younger on both sides of the football, and let that man go home and go be with his wife and go do what you do with Mrs. Swift. But I do not want to see him on the Chiefs gear next year. I've said this over and over again throughout the season, and it's very he's cost us multiple games this year because of the drop passes and just not be able to separate anymore. It's just sad to see him decline. And if he comes back, I'm going to be livid next year. I really am going to be livid.
Damn. If he does come back, it just has to be with a massive pay cut. I'll leave it at that. Everything he said, cool. Again, Travis Kelce has provided some of the most electrifying football moments of my adulthood. So I appreciate that. I mean, for that reason, if he wants to come back, cool. Again, pay cut. He's going to have to take that pay cut. Otherwise, then yeah, I hope he does. Hang him up. But that's his decision. I think he's great, and he's earned that right to say, hey, man, I want to come back and try to make one more playoff run. Again, hopefully it's TE3 and not TE1. If that's the case, I'm cool with that. Otherwise, then yeah, I hope he hangs him up.
I
That's probably
disagree.
not gonna happen.
I disagree because he'll be a distraction. He'll be a distraction.
It's a distraction.
He will be like not Travis the person, but everything around Travis will be like they'll show Taylor Swift in the stands. They're it'll just be a circus if he's still on the field donning Chiefs gear. And I just want to just move on, bro. Like, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Chris Jones got one more year of me saying 1 more year of enough play before I say the same thing with Chris Jones. Like it's like I'm on that. Look, I'm on that Bill Belichick shit. I am on that. I'm on that old 49ers.
Not the North Carolina Belichick, right? You're talking about the Belichick. Okay.
No. But the old 49ers coach back in the day, I'd rather give up. I'd rather take you out a year early than the year too late. Yeah. And Chris Jones and Kelsey, I love them forever. I got Kelsey's autographed jersey in my game room. But man, look, bro, like this is a young man's game, dog. It's a young man's game, and like unless you're playing quarterback, it's really hard on the body, and it's really hard to give upper echelon production, especially for a guy who has given upper echelon production for so long. He's not good anymore, bro. Like he's becoming an inept liability catching the football or not catching the football, and it's time to move on.
I just think it'll be too tempting for him not to come back. Like, do you really want it to end with this season?
Yes.
I mean, like from his perspective, like I agree with you. He shouldn't be the number one option in the offense in the pass game. But like from his perspective, like, I mean, whenever he retires, he's going to have so many opportunities, whether it's like acting in movies or on TV shows, or he's going to be in sports broadcasting. He's going to have all kinds of opportunities to do whatever he wants. But like, I feel like he still wants to play. Like I don't see him like bouncing right now, given the state of the team.
Let's say worst case scenario, Pat comes back in October. Let's say October, the third week in October.
Yeah.
You getting 7 weeks of Gardner Minshew? What? 7 weeks of who? 7 weeks of I don't know, Blake Bortles. I mean, whoever's available. Like who's gonna be throwing the football? And because one thing about Pat,
Johnny Manziel. No,
one thing about Pat over relied on Kelsey, and he made it his life's mission to get him targets. Like if he was a missionary, his mission would be get Kelsey the ball by all means necessary. I don't think any other quarterback of the backup variety is going to be able to do that while making sure Kelsey gets production, while he's getting high level targets, while he's getting yards just off of like volume. Like Pat does that because that's his friend. Like he really goes like the way Pat throws in the football, you can tell they're friends. Like any other quarterback would be like, I'm not throwing you the football. You're not open. I'm not throwing you the football. Like you can't. So you ran a 3-yard drag route. I'm not throwing you the football. Like who you run away from? Like you can tell that's his buddy. Like his buddy is doing everything he can to get him targets. I don't want to see that again next year. I'd rather see drag routes to Rashee Rice than drag routes to Kelsey. For me personally, I don't want to see that. I've seen that before. I'm good on that. I'm good.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. It'll be a subplot line of the offseason. Hopefully not too much of the offseason, but I think it'll probably be a storyline for a little while. Before we go tonight, let's talk about the college football playoff a little bit here. We're down to the Final Four. We've got the Fiesta Bowl on Thursday. You've got Miami versus Ole Miss. And you got the Peach Bowl on Friday. You've got Oregon versus number 1 Indiana. So first off, Tristan, your thoughts on who you picking to win the national title from these 4 teams, and then just overall thoughts on what you've seen this bowl season and the playoff.
Overall, it's been some good games.
Yeah.
Definitely enjoyed Indiana, and it's the beat down. This is just a thorough beat down. I was kind of shocked that Texas Tech laid an egg like they did.
Yeah.
But what I've seen is ultimately like what football is like teams that win at the line of scrimmage have won. Like, and they've won big. Like Miami dominated the line of scrimmage. That's why they're playing. Oregon completely dominated line of scrimmage, did whatever they wanted to. Indiana. I have Indiana versus Ole Miss in a national championship game. I think I'm taking Indiana, man. Like, again, words I've never said before in life. So I think I'm taking Indiana to win it. They're just a grown ass team, you know. So like they do grown things. Like, again, up front, like they dominate there. Like they create rush lanes. They have a quarterback who I think is probably the best quarterback in college football. He doesn't scream out number one pick to me, but he's a very good college quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And he makes big plays when need be. He makes routine plays when need be. Like, I just don't think he's anything more than that as of right now. But he's good enough to like win you a big game. I trust him more than I do Chambliss, and to a degree Dante Moore, who I think is more talented. But I got Indiana taking it all.
Gotcha. Frank, your thoughts on the Final Four, and then just what you've seen during the bowl season and the other playoff games.
Yeah, I mean, the trenches, the teams that dominate the line of scrimmage oftentimes win these games, and that's what we've seen. And not just that, but the teams that can run the football. I mean, Indiana, they beat you up in the trenches, and they have two quality backs that can get 5 yards a pop at any point in time, where it's 2nd and 6, 2nd and 3. And, you know, Mendoza is a jack of all trades with play action at that point. Same with Ole Miss. I mean, Lacey missed parts of the last couple of games, but he's back and he had a hell of a game, man. And they gave Georgia all the problems they can give them. This is a great Georgia defense, and they did whatever they wanted offensively against them. And Lacey looked great. Same with Miami, man. Miami, they have 2 first-round picks on that D-line. They just create havoc. every game, they just create havoc. What concerns me about Miami is that they don't rotate their players, the D-line. They pretty much go with a 5-man rotation. And I don't – you can't do that against Indiana. Indiana is just, like Tristan said, they're just grown men. They punch you in the mouth, and they're just professional and business-like with their ass whoopings in the trenches. And they're going to have to rotate guys and find at least 2 other D linemen to rotate along with their front 4, because it's going to be a long day for Miami if they can't get depth against Indiana. Logically, I want to say Indiana, but man, I'm loving Ole Miss, bro. I love this Ole Miss story. I think Chambliss is playing. He's playing some PhD quarterbacking, dual threat quarterbacking right now. Like, it looked like Manziel against Bama in like 2013. He just did whatever he wanted to do against them. Like, he's playing backyard football, and Georgia's defense is really, really good. The front 7 is, and he attacked their corners. He was getting whatever he was dropping back shoulder throws, fade routes, deep crossers. Like, he made some timely 3rd down throws on the run, on the money, and that is the one weakness for defenses in college football, is to do with their quarterback, a guy who can run and throw it at a high level. And I'm going to go Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss wins it all. I think Chambliss is going to have a great 2-game run to add on what he did last week. So that I'm gonna ride the Cinderella story and go with Chambliss and Ole Miss.
I think what's unique with this Final Four is, like, regardless, either way you go, like, it's a pretty cool story. Like, you've got Miami, this team that's a powerhouse in the 80s and 90s, who's, you know, also early 2000s, they're really good also then too. But they're, you know, are they finally back? It seems like they might be. You've got Ole Miss, who their coach bounced on them as the playoffs was beginning, and it's like he went to LSU for a better chance to win the national title in theory, and his team might win the national title without him. Like, how crazy of a story would that be? And it's kind of a weird sports movie come to life. You've got Oregon, who, you know, has been this like finesse team when they were in the Pac-12, Pac-10, whatever. Now they're, you know, this like power team in the Big Ten, and they're facing one of their new Big Ten rivals in Indiana, which again, like Tristan said, Indiana, like this isn't college basketball. We're not in March. Like this is, we're in January. This is college football. They're the undefeated team, the lone undefeated team left. And they've got the Heisman Trophy winner. It's like, it's a really kind of crazy scenario what we got. I do think I have Indiana beating Miami in the final in the national title game, but I think any way it goes, it could be a pretty fun matchup. And we don't really have like a blue blood, which I think is kind of neat. We don't have a Georgia, we don't have a Bama because Bama got the shit beat out of them by Indiana. Like that was just a brutal beatdown. That's 2 years in a row when the Rose Bowl has just been like a scrimmage, like a one-sided scrimmage. We had Ohio State last year rolled Oregon, and then this year you had Indiana just pound Bama into the ground.
It's SEC talk, man. If the Big Ten comes back and wins again, I don't want to hear SEC is where it's at. It has been where it's at the last couple of years. The Big Ten has dominated in the CFP the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think the transfer portal NIL has kind of evened the playing field. I think now that every school can legally pay their players, it's a different ballgame now.
Yeah, and you're gonna keep it going. They got another transfer quarterback for next year to replace Mendoza. Top 5 transfer.
They got the kid from TC,
right?
Josh Hoover.
So they're gonna be right back in it next year.
Yeah,
and Hoover is physically more gifted than Mendoza. So
he's a better passer, I think, than
Mendoza
is. Yeah, so they should be right back there. And that's something else. Like we didn't talk about this, but like there's a lot of openings in the NFL. Obviously, 6 teams available. Do you think Kurt Signetti, the Indiana coach, you think he might go to the NFL? Like if Indiana wins this year, they're 18-0 or whatever they are, or 16-0, they win the title. No,
they just extended him. They just gave him another contract. So when Penn State, when they fired,
I know, but those contracts they can rip that stuff up. There's buyouts, like
they'll pay him again. Indiana's not letting him walk. They're gonna throw the Brinks truck at him. He's got 2 contract extensions each of the last 2 years. They're not letting him walk. And I think Signetti, he looks like he's on a mission to like. He has that. When I look at him, he has the bravado, of course, but like he looks like he wants to make a statement. Like, no, I'm not just trying. I ain't trying to just win one. I'm trying to run off a couple in this motherfucker and make Indiana, because he's a god already. Like Indiana's the worst football program in D1 history, and he's already a god amongst them in the 2 years he's been there. I think he's gonna stay for a while. I really do.
Same. Yeah, like why leave? Especially none of these NFL. I get how rare NFL jobs are, but I argue none of them that just came open are technically good jobs. So nothing else. Run off like Frank said, a couple like deep runs, and then maybe some more better options open up. But nah, he's a god there, and they Indiana has decided that they want to be good at college football, so they're going to be good. They put money behind it, and they're going to be good. So I'll tell him to stay where he is.
Yeah. So my last thing is earlier this year we were talking about job openings in college football, and I mentioned I said Oklahoma State. That's to me is a job that you can get that job and you could win right away. Little did I know that the head coach at my school would go to Oklahoma State and would take the 4 best offensive players, the quarterback, Drew Mestamaker, the running back, Caleb Hawkins, and the 2 receivers, Wyatt Young, and I can't think of the other guy's name. All 4 went to Oklahoma State. So I guess I'm rooting for the Pokes next year. Like kind of, I'm interested to see. I want to see Mestamaker in the Big 12 because he dominated in the American this year. And I do think he is a pro prospect in a couple of years. I don't know. It's even though it was my team that these guys left, I do enjoy what the portal offers, how it's given us like NBA free agency in college football. And every year, a team can change its fortunes with just, spending some money and getting the right guys in there. But is there anything like that y'all are interested in looking forward to? Or, Drew Mestamaker, he could be a guy we see on Sundays in a couple of years. So I'm interested to see him step up in the level of competition next year in the Big 12.
I mean, back in December, Oklahoma State made waves. They're some stakeholders there. They already put like $31 million towards Scott's NIL. They go on the Texas Tech route. They're just going to try to get as many transfers. And I mean, they have a name for it. It's called the Posse Excellence Fund at Lee First Cowboys Properties. That's the name of the hedge fund. It's going to be putting money into NIL. So they're gonna put money up there. It's like, this is not what they're doing, is just the beginning. I think they're gonna get more names as the coming weeks go by. But they're stating their claim. They made it clear that this is going to be a priority for them now.
I mean, North Texas, they led the nation in offense. I'm interested to see what that offense looks like in the Big 12 against, like, I mean, Texas Tech has a very good defense, right? I mean, not a joke. Like, their defense is miles ahead of their offense, which was never the case in the Mike Leach years or any time else. I'm interested to see what the Oklahoma State / North Texas offense does next year, and see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
It's gonna be wide open for sure.
Even though I would have loved for them all to come back and try to, get a playoff bid, take North Texas to the playoffs, but they were one game short. So anyway, anything else y'all want to get to before we get out of here?
Oh man, we got it.
No, I'm good.
Covered it all. We'll be back next week to talk about the wild card round of the playoffs. And I'm looking forward to it. Should be a wide open wild card weekend. Should be fun to watch. And we'll be happy to talk about it next week. And we appreciate everybody who joined us. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, we appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Also check us out on Spotify. You can watch the video there, but you can also listen to our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And be sure to give us a 5-star rating if you do listen to us on Spotify or Apple. So that about does it. So for Tristan and for Frank, I'm Justin saying thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.